morning, stock traders, and welcome back to Stock Traders Talk Radio. I'm your host, Stock Sumo, and thanks for joining us on this magnificent Monday morning, July 30th, 2012. Hope you had a great weekend. Let's get ready to rock as we look through the markets. So open up your charts, turn on those scanners, and fire up your trading accounts. Joining us on this morning's program, we have Haas. What's up, buddy?
Good morning, Stock Sumo. How was your weekend, man?
How's it going, Haas?
Good. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Siffy, where are we at? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I think Sumo's got issues. I wasn't going to come on this morning, but looks like I got to keep this show going with Haas.
Well, as usual, we got some
Sumo anyways.
with the Sumo sound, but I'll just get rolling with stocks.
Here we go.
I guess
back to the real host, Haas.
Alright, well, I just want to give a brief update on a little spotlight we did a little while ago. Some significant news out that was posted on Saturday for GTGP, Global Technologies Group. We did the co-spotlight with Bridge Jumper. Kudos, Bridge Jumper, once again. About a month ago, and the stock's been performing really well. And as we roll into late July, early August, we have some major potential catalysts for the stock, including some news that was put out over the weekend. So let's just take a brief look at this. The company didn't actually put out news itself, but there was a nice article posted on Saturday releasing some details to some of the acquisition talks between GTGP and their main acquisition candidate, MSE Incorporated. Once again, just as a brief reminder, this company is looking to form a massive conglomerate of heavy metal remediation technologies, whether it's dealing with cement plants and different types of power plants, or different types of mine or waste site heavy metal remediation type of work. So Global Technologies Group Incorporated has reached a verbal agreement with Merdi to purchase the longtime Butte engineering company MSE Incorporated. Jim Felicaro, CEO of the Florida-based Global Technologies, confirmed along with Merdi lawyer on Friday that they had agreed on terms for the sale. Neither would disclose the details until the sale is final, which is expected in early September. So right there we have some catalysts in early September. They've pretty much signed off on everything. They got all the details worked out of this acquisition, and they will be announcing those details to shareholders, potential shareholders, in early September. But also keep in mind that throughout August here, we got some other significant stuff going on. They are testing the MSE technologies at the MSE plant up in Montana right now. And present at this testing is none other than the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. And the key thing that we could potentially look for in the very near future here is the EPA is observing these tests. If the EPA puts that benchmark standard on the MSE technologies that they're testing up there, basically every other company, all of GTGP's competition, would have to keep up with that standard. And with the laws changing and regulations changing at all these different types of power plants and cement plants, with some of the mercury emissions and whatnot, which are getting more stringent, if this becomes the benchmark standard, the potential for massive contracts, not only within governmental agencies but also the private sector, is absolutely phenomenal. And that's why we've been seeing the major interest in this share as of recent. I mean, people have been waiting for this acquisition for a long time. It's been in the works, but some of the greater things take a lot of time. So congratulations to the patient folks who've been accumulating this stock over the last couple of years. This thing's been on an absolute tear. Just looking at Didi Amanda, just to give you a brief glimpse of pretty much what's been going on. We see the dollar volumes increasing dramatically over the course of the last couple of weeks here, and the share price responding in kind. So look forward to the details of that acquisition, but also throughout August here, expect some updates on the testing going on at the MSE facility up in Montana. And who knows, maybe some other news related to potential contracts and things like that. They can always start releasing those if they have the details worked out. They're just not exactly sure how it's going to go about. We could see some MSE incorporated contract news. Who knows? So I just wanted to bring that one to your attention right out of the gates today. We'll definitely be updating our listeners on this one because I think this one is going to be in the spotlight over the course of the next couple months. It's been super hot on the iHub. Most read boards, top lists, the whole works. So, all right, let's see. What else did I want to talk about this morning before we roll into the major news pieces? One you might want to keep your eyes on, if nothing else, out of the gates this morning, Evader. We also did a spotlight on this one a while back, and the share price has kind of still been hovering around this high 0000001 mark for the most part. But it got a spark late last Friday. We talked a lot about in that spotlight about this merger with ViceAssist Incorporated. You know, you have the medical robot, the doctor robot, and whatnot. And they just completed that merger and announced it on Friday, about 15 minutes before the close. And as you can see just over here, just with this brief look on this chart, it got most of its buying that day and interest in those last 15 minutes. So we'll see how she comes out of the gates today on that merger news. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention as well. Another Lotto Trip Zero stock that I mentioned on Friday, which was at 0001 at the time, and I honestly never thought the thing was going to move. LKEN, if I can, let's try that. My computer is being a dick. There we go. Green Concepts. They have like a, I don't know exactly what it is. It's like a printer ink resale program, and the ink they actually use is like somehow green or something. It doesn't waste as much ink when it's printing. I don't know exactly what it is, but there's a conference call on Saturday. It seems like people are getting excited about it on the boards. You can go to the boards and read some of the sticky posts on some due diligence from those conference calls. I personally wouldn't touch this one. I think there's about a 4 billion share float and a 5 billion share or 6 billion share outstanding or authorized. There's just a lot of shares out there, and it's just not my style. But if you're a Lotto Trip Zero player, this one was garnering some attention on Friday, and frankly, I'm surprised she actually trumped the twos. There were quite a few up there, but we'll see what she's like this week. It sounds like the company's getting ready to actually bring in some revenues finally, so who knows. All right, let's move into some of the key news pieces for the week. Hello?
Hey, guys. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. What's up, Sumo?
Oh, man, technical issues over here. Keep running with it, though. You're doing a great job. Don't mind me.
I'll keep going with it. Let me know if you got stock you want to talk about. Just step in whenever, man. All right. Stock we've talked about quite a bit. Renew Incorporation, ticker is RENU. They put out news related to the Team Energy acquisition last week. And they also issued another corporate update this morning. Renew Incorporation, a rapidly expanding renewable energy roll-up company focused on solar, wind, and geothermal energy solutions. Is pleased to announce that the company has secured a $50 a megawatt solar project in Pakistan through its pending acquisition of Team Energy Incorporated. The project will be managed by a foreign operating subsidiary, which is also joining Renewing upon closing of the acquisition. The power purchase agreement is guaranteed by the government of Pakistan and is for 25 years. For their management in the project, the company will realize income throughout the duration of the power purchase agreement. And as stated down here, this looks pretty nice here. The project installed costs about $200 million. So we're talking about a $200 million project here. And Renewing gonna bring in some revenues through the power purchase agreement from the Pakistan government, who's purchasing the power for a period of 25 years. So very significant news here. The first contract coming in now that the company has started talking. As we mentioned, we expect some more updates over the near term. And this looks like a banging one to start off, if I do say so myself. All right. Let's talk about a little old school favorite biopharmaceutical company. I like this one. I think you should go do some due diligence on it. They're in phase 2 trials right now. But this one's going to get some heavy interest once it enters that phase 3 stage for their cancer trials. Advaxis, ticker ADXS, put out some news this morning. Looks like they're updating some data from their phase 2 cervical cancer trials at this NCI, National Cancer Institute, GOG, not sure what that, Gynecologic Oncology Group, GOG meeting in Boston. Looks like the GOG is conducting a phase 2 study of ADXS HPV in a similar patient population in the U.S. So let's see, phase 2 trial. Presented updated preliminary data from an ongoing randomized phase 2 trial of ADXS HPV being conducted in India in women with recurrent refractory cervical cancer who have failed previous cytotoxic therapy. The objectives of the phase 2 trial include an assessment of the safety and efficacy of the drugs and treatments. Let's see if they give us any details. We are pleased to observe a continued positive pattern in patient survival and objective tumor responses as the study continues and the data mature, commented Dr. Robert Petit, Vice President of Clinical Operations. These women have cancer that has recurred after receiving conventional treatments, and they face a very poor prognosis. Tumor responses to the treatment in cervical cancer have occurred in patterns characteristic of those observed with effective immunotherapies for other cancers. Cervical cancer is the second leading cause of cancer death among women, and the leading cause of cancer death in women under 45 worldwide. And that goes into some details about the actual treatment itself. But again, just stick this one on your biopharm watch list. I'm not exactly a buyer in the phase 2 stage, but if you're a long-term bio player and you want a cool, revolutionary treatment that's about to enter some phase 3 trials here over the next year or so, this is one to put on your watch list. This one could really get some legs once they get closer to, you know, the PDUFA dates that we've been talking about. But that is a couple of years off. But we've seen some of the charts on some of these smaller biofarms, and they can get pretty hot pretty fast. Let's see, what else was interesting this morning? Let's check out FLPC. First Liberty Power Corporation. This one closed at 3.9 cents on Friday. The press this morning. First Liberty Power Corporation is pleased to announce the results for the next phase of the exploration of the company's Smoky Valley property, the SV claims. A gravity survey organized by GeoExplore Corporation and recently completed by Hasbro Geophysics has produced several positive outcomes. I believe this is a... let's see here. Looks like, yeah, I was going to say, I think this is a lithium project. I'm very pleased with the encouraging exploration results of the SV claims, which to date are validating our expectation that both Lita Valley and Smoky Valley are very prospective for having a significant lithium brine resource. So, just an update on the lithium resource projects for First Liberty Power Corporation. SWRF, Swordfish Financial. Don't let the name fool you. Closed at 0031 on Friday. News this morning, Swordfish Financial Incorporated has entered into a letter of intent on a dormant oil and gas well located in the Arkansas, Louisiana, Tex region of Louisiana. I don't know if that means Arkansas. Ark-LA, Tex region of Louisiana, let's put it that way. It looks like the financial's interest in this well should be no less than a 20% ownership of the working interest. GDTK put out some news this morning. GDT Tech is the company, closed at 2 cents on Friday. This one's related to some SEC DTCC issues. GDT Tech Incorporated is to withdraw its petition with the SEC regarding actions taken by the DTCC once confirmation that the DTCC chill is lifted from GDTK's stock. We've seen a lot of this happening over the course of the last year or so. The SEC and DTCC hunkering down on these stocks, putting a chill from buying or selling the shares with different types of trading issues. And probably a lot of companies that didn't deserve it actually happened to. Perhaps this is a situation there. It looks like they're going to lift this chill for GDTK in the near future. And it actually looks like GDT actually took some action against it and worked up a petition that they sent to the SEC. So maybe that's one of the reasons we're seeing the chill lifted on this one. LPTN, LPath is the company. This one actually closed at 90 cents last Friday. See if I can find this news for this morning that I saw. Here it is. It's a new paper published regarding to spinal cord injury treatment. LPath Incorporated, the industry leader in lipidomics-based therapeutics, has brought scientists one step closer to finding a treatment for spinal cord injury with the creation of L-Pathomab, an antibody that reverses much of the damage caused by trauma to the nervous system. Looks like the specific treatment can be used as a drug to reduce the size of a spinal cord injury and improve functional behavioral outcomes in experimental animal models. The antibody works as a molecular sponge by soaking up LPA, specific lipid, a molecule that can damage neurons and promote scarring in the central nervous system. So it sounds like a pretty cool treatment here. Currently, there are no FDA-approved drugs for the treatment of neurotrauma such as SCI, spinal cord injury, or traumatic brain injury. So it looks like it could be the first treatment of its kind. Something that is actually pretty interesting. I'm going to write this one down and do some due diligence on this. Sounds like a pretty cool treatment for a semi-untreatable type of trauma in the nervous system. So that proceeds to actual clinical trials. This one could garner a little more interest.
Why don't we take a quick look at my scanner to see what we got trading pre-market?
Sure.
Flip over to my screen here, pull up the old scanner, trusty scanner. Arch Coal, ACI, gapping up here. We've had some good bounces off this one in the past. Arch Coal's gapping up here 5% this morning. It's up over $7. Last traded at $7.15 on 362,000 shares. CDTI, clean diesel. CDTI is up 51% on 54,000 shares traded, last at $3.18. We got OCZ up pre-market, up 8.62%. This one's gapping down huge pre-market. PGNX, Progenics. It's down 43.7%, last at $6.08. Also saw Nokia here. Nokia gapping up a little bit again this morning. Once we saw it break that $2 mark, there was some key resistance there. It's been continuing its ascent, up another 3% here this morning. So that's what I got staring at me in the face on the old scanner this morning. Hoss, back to you, buddy.
Looks like we got some news out for Home Health International. Stock's kind of been battered down quite a bit as of late. And the stock had promotion at a lot of the higher prices. Closed at 004 on Friday. Home Health International Incorporated launches redesigned corporate website. Home Health International has gone through significant changes in the last few months. We acquired a DME company and a Medicare certified home health agency. I came on board as a CEO. Our previous corporate website did not reflect these changes. We thought this would be the perfect time to redesign the website to align with Home Health's current direction. It's a new website up for ticker HHII. Ticker ILVC, Intelligent Living Corporation. Put out some press this morning. This one closed at 6 cents on Friday? No. I don't know what it closed at on Friday. This is wrong, I think, for the share price. Intelligent Living Corporation, ILVC, a leading supplier of green building solutions and innovative home automation and control technology systems, today announced the signing of a memorandum of understanding with Coast Tsimshian Resources LP, targeting First Nations and offshore markets for the company's modular homes and emergency shelters. The memorandum of understanding outlines timeframes and conditions for the establishment of a 3-year business plan and the corporate structure required to achieve revenue targets. Ticker ILVC. For whatever reason, that was shown 6 cents. It actually closed at 1.4 cents on Friday, it looks like, and it looks like it's going to gap up this morning by the bid and the ask prices here. Or maybe that was some small little tap on the bid late Friday or something, who knows. Alright, I think that's it for my actual news. Let's see if we got any newbies we can take a look at. Looks like GTGP, I talked about that one right away when the show started here, actually put out news related to what I was just talking about. Looks like update on meetings held in Butte, Montana, and the acquisition of MSE Technology Applications Incorporated. Let's see what else we got rolling here. Yeah, it's actually there wasn't much news up for a Monday I saw, or things of interest anyways. What do you got? What are you watching this week, Sumo?
Nothing really in particular.
You got any options trades you're looking at?
I'm going to be looking at Apple as always. Picked the worst day to go golfing on Friday. Man, Apple was just a monster, especially in the second half of the day. We were watching this thing in the morning. They dipped it as low as like 570, 571, where it found support, and it bounced off that support level on Thursday. Apple ended up closing at like 585. Siffy posted some of his options trades on our board. Congratulations, he was hitting home runs. Moving in from different calls, you could have gotten in the 575 calls. Once Apple hit 580, you get out, roll into the 580 calls. Apple hit 585, you roll out of those, make it 500% at a time, no problem. Now Apple's at 590 pre-market. Wondering if this thing wants to go back to 600 plus. I'm thinking she does. Going to be looking at some 590 or 595 calls possibly. Seeing what they're at the open. We got 3 minutes till the bell.
Looks like one that's on heavy promotion. SDSS, Suspect Detection Systems. I shouldn't say heavy promotion. I've gotten a few different emails on it from some smaller newsletters, but it looks like they supposedly put out press this morning, but I can't find it right now. Looks like huge revenue news. Let's see if I can find this here. July 30th, 2012. Suspect Detection Systems Incorporated, a developer of counter-terror and crime prevention technology, announced today that the company submitted a tender to win a 7-digit security contract with a federal agency in Southeast Asia. The company was the only firm to submit a bid at the request of the federal agency. Suspect Detection Systems has already been awarded 2 separate tenders with this same country. The current multi-year tender is tentatively expected to be initiated before the end of 2012. Aside from the promotion, I actually like the balance sheet and financials of SDSS. They're bringing in some significant revenues. They've been net profitable over the course of the last year or two with some smaller security contracts. It looks like they're going to get a couple of bigger ones here in the near future with the first announcement here of a potential $1 million contract in Southeast Asia. See how the share price responds today with the news/promotion.
Why is PGNX gapping down so hard? Did you look and see what the news was there? PGNX looks like it's a pharmaceutical company.
PGNX, I'm guessing poor clinical data news. Nope, they received a complete response letter Friday post-market from the FDA for Relistore. So complete response letter is basically the FDA's way of saying your drug's not good enough right now. So that's say like a PDUFA date that they deny the drug, they give you a complete response letter.
And we're off. Boom. Let's see what the 590 calls are going at here. 625, 630. The 525 calls are at $6.30. They're up 64%. As Apple gapped up to 591. Let's see where they pull it back to. And for those of you people out there asking us what's good, what are we playing, what's hot, don't worry, we got a premium room coming for you soon enough. You're going to be able to trade alongside Siffy. You won't have to ask us, you can just pay for it. And we'll give you our trades on a silver platter. Not that we haven't already done that in the past, but we're stepping it up to a whole nother level. Be ready. Be ready, folks.
SDSS is looking pretty decent out of the gates here. Up 26.5%, last trade at 3.1 cents. Got a nice fat 220,000 share bid on 3 cents. Current bid 40,000 at 3.1. The ask is up to 3.5 already, which is the last hit, up 42.9% now. Gapped a little bit, closed at 2.45 on Friday. Opened up at 3.1 today. 4 cents up on the S now, 3.5 by 4. 262,000 shares traded. 300,000 bid coming up on 3.5 cents there. HIMR, keeping an eye on this one this week. We have 3 million shares traded so far. There's been some newsletters coming out on it over the course of the weekend. 001 is the last trade. Be careful with this one though, there's been some dilution. BBDA looks like a lot of the same, just a little tappy up in this high 002 area.
They dipped Apple down to 587.82. It's back over 590. The 590 calls were as low as 486. They're back to $6. I was going to try to pull the trigger at $5. A little bit slow on the trigger here this morning. ALTX, I got an email promoting this one. Paid promotion on ALTX. It's moving up the scanner. It's up 120%.
For whatever reason, it looks like CLNO is getting some action this morning. I know that one was on promotion a while ago. I guess it's not crazy. Just up 30%. 590,000 shares traded. 1.3 by 1.5 spread. Looks like got decent support there on the 1.2. So 1.4 hit. 40%. Almost 600,000 shares traded. Vader dead out of the gates on the merger news. Watching IMDS pretty hard this week. 3.8 million trades so far. This one had the major run from the low trips to 002s a little while ago. Getting lots of action in this 0006 to 0009 range. The last few days of last week, and there's rumors of news coming out at some point this week. Could get a little momentum going. It looks like pretty good bid support on the 0007 and above there. Right now we got 6.3 million on the 0008 bid, and it looks like a couple million on 0009 ask.
Apple Beastman just busted through the high a day. The 590 calls were as low as 486. They're up to 775. I'm going to look at the 595 calls now, and they are currently at $5.10. They're up 133%. They're as low as $2.99, as high as $5.30. Last traded at $5.15. Apple looks like it wants to go past $5.95 today, maybe even go on up to $600. Trading at $5.94.32 right now, hitting a high a day. Okay, she looks like she wants to break that $5.95 here. Apple is just going ridiculous this morning. Big day on Friday. I was expecting a bit of a follow through today, and we're seeing that. Okay, just plastered through $5.95. Next stop, $600. The $5.95 calls on Apple are going off at the high of day here, $6.50.
Man, it's quite a day so far.
quiet day when you trade Apple, boys. Never.
Those 590 calls are up to $9.30. There was low as $4.80 this morning. Apple doing its thing as always. Love it. ICNB holding up here, 5 by 5.9, up 20% this morning.
Got a DRWN getting quite a bit of, well, not quite a bit, a little bit of action this morning. A clean slate. 0006 by 0007 spread right now. Last trade 0007 up 40%. One market maker left on the 0007 showing 5,000. 7.4 million traded so far today. Mostly on the 0007. Looks like we had a few 0008 taps. About 1.5 to 2 million on bid support on the 0006 right now. HIMR bid support increasing on the 0009. 5,000 left on the ask at 001. 11.4 million traded so far today now, up 11.1%.
ICNB just broke through the 6-cent mark again.
Pull that guy up.
I had to speculate on some of those 595 Apple calls. I got in at 595. They're up to 695. And Apple just hit a new high of day at 595.88. Looks like it's holding support at 594 on the 1-minute chart. Again, folks, we got a paid membership room coming soon enough. And you'll be able to trade right alongside Siffy. Some of these calls that I'm making out here today, you know, I just learned from the best. That's all. Just sharing my knowledge from what I learned from the man, the myth, the legend out of Hawaii, Siffikia. But stay tuned. We should have that premium site up. I know we've been talking about it for weeks. It's coming. It's coming. Don't worry.
ICNB still upticking. 6.6 by 6.7 now.
Nice.
She's a thin one. 242,000 shares traded so far today. HIMR just broke the 001s. 001, we got about, looks like 4 million on bid. 0011 ask, we have about 7 million, it looks like 7.5 million.
I'm liking these 595 calls. They're going off at 680 right now. Apple looks like it wants to go back towards 600. $5.95 calls are 670 by 685. Apple's at 595.15 by 595.37. The high of day is 596.31.
It's like CSLI, Critical Solutions, is up 75% so far today. 11.3 million shares traded. 0013, we got about 5.5 million in bid support. 0014 ask, we got about 2.7 million shares up there yet. It's like SBRH is also getting some action. Or was. 30 million shares traded, 0003 by 0004 right now. Needs more bid support on the 3 though. The ask looks a little bit thick on the 4.
Apple just smashed a new high of day. 596.83 is the high of day. Those 595 calls are now up to 750. Is RENU trading any volume this morning on that news, or is it just dead in the water here?
She is quiet.
Silent. Apple, here she goes. 600, going to 600. 597s are up. And those 595 calls are now at the high of day. 818, 835s are up. And I'm in there at 595. I'm already up 35%. Oh, yeah. This is the action that I missed out on Friday because I had to go to a golf tournament. Man, that was the most expensive golf tournament I ever played in. Could have sat here and made bank on Apple options on Friday. Unbelievable. Instead, I'm out here living the dream.
Well, one thing we can count on, though, Sumo, is that it's here every single day.
Whoa, who's that guy? It's the Apple guru himself.
Boom, look at this beast. Congratulations, you Apple freaks out there. We know who you are, and we know you're making money. Back to you, Sumo.
Oh, that's right. You want to hear from Siffy? You're going to have to pay soon. Premium room only. He's no longer a part of the morning show to talk about his trading ideas. Folks, you want that information? You're going to have to pay.
Who was
It's valuable. It's valuable information. It's enough that we've been giving away this information for free. It's time to ante up.
Who was that?
I don't know.
I don't even recognize that voice on the morning show anymore.
I chipped one in for a birdie this weekend, though, Haas. How about that? I was at the course Saturday. Played a nice 9 holes on a par 3. It's like a 125-yard par 3. Overlooks the lake. It's beautiful par 3. I hit my fishing wedge. I ended up on the right side of the green. It's one of those greens where it's kind of slanted down. So I'm chipping downhill, and you don't really want to go too far by the hole because it's going to go downhill. It's going to go right by it. Well, I flopped up this nice chip. Boom! It rolls, catches the break, and goes right in the cup for a birdie. Oh, love that feeling.
Yeah,
makes me want to get back out there and do it again. I think I've only done that like 2 or 3 times maybe. HIMR getting a few taps at the 0011. Some nice taps. 1.8 million just slapped it.
Yep, we got 22 million traded there so far. I'd like to see bid support increasing on the 001 though. It's pretty weak right now. We got about 1.5 million on the bid, about 6 million on the ask, and then you got two market makers not showing their size on 00112.
Iconic Brands, ICNB, pushing through that 7-cent mark, breaking resistance. Look at that, level 2 is just thinner than thin.
Here she goes, 7.5 by 8 cents, 410,000 shares traded, up 60.9% again today.
Just want to go out on a for the record that we called this one under a penny. For the record, just want to say that we caught it on the scanner. It was 009. We hit the scanner. I pulled it up, said, Haas, what are you seeing? He pulled up the Investors Hub page, saw some of the big guys that were on here that we know have had some good plays in the past. He said, yep, there's some big boys on here. Don't need to name any names, but we saw them, and we've been following that play, and it's just been beasting.
Now, the bad thing on my end is I frickin' knew about it at like 002 about the filings that came out without news, and I didn't look into it any harder until we actually saw it start moving. So I didn't trade it. Idiot!
HIMR plowing through the 0011s. Looks like they're going to take the 0011s out here. VFIN's on the offer. I want to see VFIN get kicked off here.
Nice.
ICNB just beasting. I love it. Nice big bidder up at 7.5 cents for 45,000 shares. Yeah, I'm ready to wrap up the show early today.
One more I just want to bring up is GFMD. This one's getting some taps. It's a pretty thin share, actually. Been trading in double zeros here, but getting a little bit of action. 23 million traded. Last trade 0016 up 14.3%. Current spread is 0014 by 0016. So not a whole lot of bitter momentum interest right now, but it looks like someone's accumulating some significant amount of shares. This one's had some decent runs over the course of the last month or 2 months here, so I'm going to keep your eye on it.
Decent volume so far, and it's hitting my scanner. It's got 51 trades on the day, over 22 million in volume. Looking good. All right, boss. I'm ready to get into these Apple options. I need to pay attention here. I'm not going to leave some money on the table.
Let's do it. Get to trading, folks. Cheers.
As always, thanks for tuning in. And STT Live, we're out.
Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.